Welcome back to the Deep Dive for your daily news fix.
Always good to be back.
Even if you only have a few minutes to spare, we like to dive into the most important stories of the day, pulling insights from different sources to give you the big picture.
That's the goal.
And I got to say, while the business world is always buzzing, it seems like former President Trump is still making a lot of headlines.
It's true. Even though he's no longer in office, his presence is definitely being felt.
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon.
Across the board, really. Finance, technology, global politics, you name it.
So let's start with his virtual address to the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Okay.
It's not every day you see a former president holding, such sway on the global stage.
Right.
What do you think makes this particularly noteworthy?
Well, I think it speaks to the enduring influence he holds, even outside of, the traditional power structures.
Yeah.
It's unusual for sure, but it highlights the fact that his actions and words continue to resonate with a significant portion of the population.
Right, and he certainly made some waves with his economic pronouncements.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly his demand for the Federal Reserve to immediately lower interest rates. Now, this isn't his first time criticizing the Fed. What impact could these statements have, and how are investors reacting?
Well, I think his comments likely spooked some investors who remember his past clashes with the Fed and worry about potential market instability.
Makes sense.
You can kind of see this fear reflected in the 2-year Treasury yield, which slipped following his remarks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a clear sign that his words, even out of office, can still move markets.
On the international front, he didn't shy away from controversy either, slamming the EU trade relationship and calling for a meeting with Putin.
Right.
These are both sensitive issues with potential global ramifications.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts?
Well, his stance on trade and his relationship with Putin have always been, points of contention. And these latest statements could reignite old tensions and complicate international relations. It'll be crucial to monitor how these situations unfold in the coming weeks and months.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears to technology, Trump pledged to use an emergency declaration to approve power plants.
Oh, wow.
Specifically designed to support his ambitious $500 billion AI initiative.
That's a big number.
This has sparked quite a bit of debate, particularly among tech giants like Elon Musk and Satya Nadella.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Well, I think this move is raising concerns about government overreach and the potential for stifling innovation in the private sector. It's a bold strategy for sure, but one that carries significant risks and raises questions about the long-term impact on the tech industry.
And then there's the buzz around Trump media. Their stock DJT is showing signs of life, flirting with its first post-inauguration gain.
Interesting.
Given the tumultuous history of Truth Social and the company itself, what do you make of this development?
Honestly, it's too early to tell if this is a sign of sustainable growth or just a temporary blip driven by speculation.
Yeah.
I think the performance of Trump media will likely depend on its ability to attract and retain users, which is a significant challenge in the crowded social media landscape.
Now let's dive into the broader business and finance world, where mortgage rates took a dip for the first time in 6 weeks.
Okay.
Could this be connected to Trump's previous promises to address housing affordability?
Well, while his rhetoric might play a role in shaping public sentiment, this drop is more likely a reflection of the ongoing volatility in the housing market.
I see.
Affordability remains a major concern, of course.
Yeah.
And factors like interest rate fluctuations and inventory levels continue to impact mortgage rates.
The stock market saw the S&P 500 touch a record high.
Yeah.
However, some analysts, like Katie Stockton of Fairlead Strategies, are predicting a potential pullback of 5% to 8%.
Yeah, I saw that.
With such impressive recent growth, is a pullback really likely, or are analysts being overly cautious?
Well, while the market has been on an upward trajectory, it's important to remember that it's cyclical.
Right.
Pullbacks are a natural part of this cycle and often serve as a correction after periods of rapid growth.
Makes sense.
The current economic uncertainty, coupled with geopolitical tensions and potential inflationary pressures, makes a pullback a distinct possibility.
Speaking of companies facing challenges, American Airlines shares took a tumble after they issued weaker than expected guidance predicting a first quarter loss.
Yeah.
What happened there?
They're attributing this to current demand trends and rising fuel costs, highlighting the headwinds the airline industry continues to face.
Right.
Despite the recent surge in travel demand, rising fuel prices and broader economic uncertainty are creating a challenging environment for airlines to navigate.
On a more positive note, Alaska Air Group reported a significant profit jump for the fourth quarter, driven by strong revenue growth.
That's good to hear.
So how do you explain this contrast with American Airlines?
Well, it demonstrates the varying strategies and market positions within the airline industry.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska Air seems to be weathering the current economic turbulence better, at least for now. Their focus on specific routes and cost management strategies appears to be paying off.
And then we have Electronic Arts facing a dramatic plunge of almost 20% in their share price, their worst day since the dot-com bubble.
Wow.
What triggered this massive sell-off?
The company cut its forecast due to challenges with its soccer franchise.
Oh, wow.
It indicates that even established players in the gaming industry are not immune to market volatility. This sharp decline highlights the fickle nature of investor confidence and the need for even industry giants to adapt to changing consumer preferences and market dynamics.
Turning our attention to the media landscape, CNN announced about 200 layoffs as part of their efforts to modernize and shift their focus.
Yeah, this move unfortunately reflects a larger trend within the media industry. As companies grapple with the decline of traditional linear TV and the rise of digital platforms, it's a challenging time for many media organizations as they navigate this transition and adapt to evolving consumer habits.
And in a stark reminder of the forces of nature, a new wildfire near Los Angeles is forcing evacuations.
Oh, wow.
After spreading rapidly across over 9,400 acres.
That's scary.
Fueled by strong winds and dry brush.
Wow.
This blaze paints a vivid picture of the increasing threat of wildfires,
Yeah.
particularly in regions prone to drought. It underscores the urgent need for proactive measures to mitigate these risks and protect vulnerable communities.
Absolutely.
Let's circle back to the political arena for a moment. Trump's appearance at Davos wasn't limited to economic commentary. He also delved into international relations with some pointed remarks regarding the EU.
Right.
What did he have to say?
Well, he criticized the EU's trade relationship with the U.S., calling it unfair and harmful to American interests. These statements could further strain U.S.-EU relations, which were already tense during his presidency, and potentially hinder transatlantic cooperation on key global issues.
He also expressed a desire to meet with Vladimir Putin to discuss the ongoing war in Ukraine,
I saw that.
even suggesting that peace efforts might already be underway.
Really?
Given Trump's history with Putin and his recent comments on the conflict, this proposition has raised eyebrows and fueled speculation about his potential role in mediating the situation. It remains to be seen whether this meeting will materialize and what impact it could have on the delicate geopolitical balance.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Shifting back to the financial markets, we discussed the record high of the S&P 500 and the possibility of a pullback. What are some of the factors that could contribute to such a correction?
Okay. Well, several factors could trigger a market pullback, including rising inflation, persistent supply chain disruptions, geopolitical uncertainties, and potential interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. These factors can erode investor confidence and lead to a decline in stock prices.
We also saw contrasting fortunes in the airline industry, with American Airlines struggling and Alaska Air Group thriving. What insights can we glean from their divergent performance?
So American Airlines struggles highlight the challenges posed by rising fuel costs and economic uncertainty, while Alaska Air Group's success demonstrates the importance of strategic route planning, cost management, and adapting to changing market conditions.
Right.
It underscores the need for airlines to be agile and responsive in a volatile industry.
Electronic Arts' massive stock plunge also raises questions about the stability of the gaming industry despite its recent growth.
It does. The company's decision to cut its forecast due to issues with its soccer franchise demonstrates that even industry giants are susceptible to market fluctuations and changing consumer preferences. It emphasizes the importance of diversification, innovation, and adapting to evolving gaming trends.
Now let's delve into some other notable earnings reports, starting with McCormick & Company. They reported higher revenue and profit for the fourth quarter, but also issued a cautious outlook for the coming year.
Interesting. What are they saying?
Well, this mixed message reflects the challenges facing even well-established companies in the current economic climate.
Right.
While they benefited from price increases in the past quarter, they're anticipating slowing demand and rising expenses in the future.
Okay.
Kinder Morgan, the energy infrastructure company, reported strong fourth-quarter results. What were the key drivers of their success?
So their significant increase in net income was primarily driven by higher natural gas transportation volumes.
Oh, wow.
This reflects the growing global demand for natural gas as countries transition away from coal and oil, positioning Kinder Morgan to benefit from this energy transition.
Moving to the healthcare sector, Abbott Laboratories reported mixed results with sales increasing but earnings falling short of expectations.
Right.
What happened there?
They're facing ongoing challenges in their nutrition business due to supply chain disruptions and the recall of infant formula.
Oh, wow.
These issues have impacted their profitability and highlight the vulnerabilities even essential industries face.
Procter & Gamble, on the other hand, delivered strong second-quarter results thanks to price increases and growth in their beauty and healthcare segment.
That's good.
How do you interpret that?
Well, this performance demonstrates the resilience of companies with strong brands and pricing power in an inflationary environment. However, they acknowledge that rising costs are still a concern and require careful management to maintain profitability.
Johnson & Johnson, another healthcare giant, also reported solid fourth-quarter results driven by growth of their pharmaceutical and medical device businesses.
Makes sense.
They also announced plans to spin off their consumer health division,
Oh, interesting.
a move that reflects a broader trend among healthcare companies to streamline operations and focus on core competencies.
Wow.
This strategic shift could have significant implications for both Johnson & Johnson and the consumer health market.
Absolutely.
And finally, Netflix, the streaming giant, bounced back with strong fourth-quarter results exceeding expectations for revenue and subscriber growth.
Wow, be for them.
This rebound suggests that their investments in new content are paying off, and they're effectively navigating the increasingly competitive streaming landscape. However, they'll need to continue innovating and adapting to stay ahead in this dynamic industry.
I agree.
It's been a whirlwind of news covering a wide spectrum of events, from political pronouncements and market fluctuations to corporate earnings and natural disasters.
It really has. It's a testament to the complex and interconnected nature of our world, where events in one sphere can have ripple effects across others.
So what key takeaways can we distill from this deep dive into today's news?
Well, firstly, the enduring influence of former President Trump, even outside of office, is a phenomenon to watch closely. His actions and statements continue to shape the political and economic landscape. Secondly, the global economy is navigating a period of uncertainty, with factors like inflation, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical tensions creating both challenges and opportunities for businesses.
Okay.
Thirdly, the media and technology sectors are undergoing rapid transformation, with companies adapting to evolving consumer preferences and technological advancements.
And lastly, we can't overlook the impressive rebound of Netflix.
Yeah, their strong fourth-quarter results, exceeding expectations for revenue and subscriber growth, demonstrate their ability to adapt and innovate in the face of intense competition.
Yeah.
It seems their investments in new content are paying off, attracting and retaining subscribers in the ever-evolving streaming landscape.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into today's news, what overarching trends or insights stand out to you?
Well, several key themes emerge from today's news cycle.
Okay.
Firstly, the political landscape remains dynamic and unpredictable, with former President Trump's continued influence adding another layer of complexity. Secondly, the global economy is grappling with a confluence of challenges, from inflation and supply chain disruptions to geopolitical uncertainties requiring businesses to be agile and adaptable. And thirdly, the media and technology sectors are in a state of flux, driven by rapid technological advancements and evolving consumer preferences.
Yeah.
This necessitates ongoing innovation and a willingness to embrace change to stay ahead of the curve.
Given this backdrop of ongoing transformation and uncertainty, what's the one thing you think our listeners should keep in mind as they navigate the days ahead?
Well, in a world awash in information, I think it's more crucial than ever to cultivate critical thinking skills and to approach news with a discerning eye.
Good advice.
Look beyond the headlines, seek out diverse perspectives, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
By staying informed and engaged, we can all better navigate the complexities of our ever-changing world.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the day's news.
It was my pleasure.
Always great to have your insights. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in to the deep dive. We'll catch you back here tomorrow for another look at the news that matters most.
See you then.